Today I'm going to be showing and teaching you a tool that I use in regards to editing maps. It's called Biome Painter, and you can get a hold of it at the link in the description from the Minecraft forums. Now this tool, it has a couple of really good uses. Now imagine you've got one of your older maps and you haven't played it since, say, 1.4, 1.5 maybe a bit later than that, and you decide to load it up under the current version of Minecraft when all the biomes have changed. So things that you remember looking quite wonderful might not look quite how they did. Damn it! Or maybe you're building your first adventure map and those annoying swamp biomes are kind of getting in the way. Okay, if you haven't done already, I do recommend watching this in 720p so you can actually see all the detail of what I'm doing. Now, first off, I'll give a quick overview of the various features of the program. First off, you just simply open your world. You need your level dat, open that, and it will list all your regions here on the left. Now, as you can see on this world, I do have an awful lot of regions. If you're not quite sure what region you're looking for, it is worth going into Minecraft, checking your coordinates, and then pulling it up using this, which is just jump to the region containing the coordinates. So in this case, I'll just go for 0, 0, middle of the world, and it happens to be in region 0, 0. Now, down here are the switch region buttons. These didn't used to exist in the old version, but they're now incredibly useful. So instead of having to remember what region is what on the edges, you can just jump left, right, up, down, and pop between the regions as such. So here we go, we're going left, and back to the right. Now, these ones save, quite explanatory. I will come to these ones later. That's the copy biomes and selection, paste biomes, and undo and redo, quite self-explanatory as well. Now over here, this is the layers panel. If you use Photoshop, you should understand what layers are. This one is for the map, so that's the actual landscape, which you can see here. So that's like the trees, the beach, the land, everything. If we turn that off, now that's just the biomes themselves. And this one is for biomes. Turn that one off, and it's literally just the land. Next one, quite also self-explanatory. When you're over the various regions, so this one's in extreme hills. Here we have a river, that's a taiga. That tells you what the biome is. Very useful, although when it comes to actually drawing the regions for editing it, I would recommend turning it off so that it's a bit easier to see what you're doing. This one over here is in regards to repopulating chunks. I won't really be covering that in this tutorial, but I will explain that what it pretty much does is it causes Minecraft to recreate ores, caves possibly, I believe, and the various sort of trees, ice, lava, the sort of things you would find in the new biome that you've created. Quite easy to mess stuff up with that, so worth avoiding just to start with. This shows the area you've selected. So just quickly, if I do that, that's my selected area, and that hides it. Pretty much I never touch that because I always want to know what I'm doing. Now the next one, if you see round my pointer there is a big circle, and if I make it bigger, an even bigger circle, that turns that on and off so you can see what brush you're using or not. Another one I don't really tend to turn off because it's useful to see what I'm doing. Now this one is the chunk boundaries. As you may be aware, chunks in Minecraft are 16 by 16, and that's the boundaries right there. Useful if you just want to line stuff up with the edge of chunks for biomes. Now, you'll notice that this black area, well, darker area, has appeared around the edge now that I've turned this on. What this is, the light area inside here, is the current region that you're editing. Outside this, these are the adjacent regions. So that's the one left, right, up, down, northwest, northeast, and so on. Those regions you can't edit whilst you're editing this one, you have to switch to them. But they're there so that if you do editing at the edge, you can see in the next region where you want to line it up. So that's very useful for that. Now, a lot of this program is self-explanatory. One you do have to get a little used to is the zoom control, which zooms in, as you can see. Each one of these squares is basically an individual block in Minecraft viewed from above, so like these are trees and such. When zoomed in, these just allow you to move around the region to get to where you're looking for. It can be a little disorientating at first, but you should get used to it. You start to learn what's what. These are quite obviously normally trees. There's probably some stone there, bit of dirt, water, that sort of thing. Now, these are your different types of brushes, obviously. So there's your round brush, which is a small size, doesn't make a huge amount of difference. But if you look here, so you just like paint great big swaths across the landscape. Square, obviously, that's exactly what it says, square. This one, rectangle select, so I can select regions and it will just fill them in. Using the right mouse button erases instead of paints on these tools. And fill, just fill the whole thing in like that. Just deselect that. Or say you've done that, you click fill and it'll fill in the inside edge for you. So quite good if you want to get a rough area and make sure you don't miss any bits inside. Now obviously as I've been doing that, you've seen me down selecting these. These, quite simple as well, select all, does what it says, the whole area, obviously not the outside regions, but the region you're editing. This selects nothing. Now this one's an invert selection, so say I have just that area there, invert, opposite, obviously, and change back. And the final one is expand selection to chunks. So any bit that I have this inner chunk will now expand to the edge of the chunks. So now that's all the square edge chunks. So that's all the selection tools, quite easy to use. Now I won't go into much detail in regards to this section, that's just to do with sort of removing certain types of blocks. Now this one's quite clever in the respect that it will select in the region we're using only that type of biome. So I go, well, there's some taiga here, but I don't really want to get the other stuff, the extreme hills and stuff, and I really don't want to spend all my time drawing around the edge. So if we go and select taiga, which you've probably missed because of the bottom of the screen there, and go add, it's now selected all the taiga biomes, as you can see, taiga, but the taiga hills haven't been selected, extreme hills not being selected, but say also when I was hoping to get that, I wanted the forest, so we just select forest and add that as well. So you can select all those various ways, you can paint in tiny little lines or sort of bigger ones, etc. Now I've got my region selected, this is what I want to edit. It's, well, it's not likely to be what I would edit, but you know. So down here I can go, the area I've selected, I now want them to be, I don't know, we'll go for Hell on Earth. There's a Doom reference for you. And fill, When I deselect, and I'll just turn the tooltabs back on, you will notice that the colours have actually changed. That's because Hell biome is a pink colour in this program. But it also means that these regions are now Hell. So if we go to our world, these regions will now spawn all the various mobs that you would have in the Nether, as I will demonstrate. And as you can see, we're in the perfectly normal overworld, but there are zombie pigmen all over the place. And if we just F3, we'll see that our biome is showing up as being Hell. Okay, but let's say I didn't actually mean to do stuff as Hell. I'll just undo that. Undo a couple of times, undo the deselection as well. Take that off, and you notice these are back to normal. Now, if I actually wanted it to stay like that, I'd have just hit save up here, or switch to another region where it would have asked me if I wanted to save, and I could have chose yes or no. Now, another clever trick that's in here is the replace one with the other. So if I want all forests in here to be replaced with for viewing ability, I'll do it as Hell again. I just select forest to Hell and replace. Now you'll notice that's still forest. So what I have to do is actually select an area, say I want that area, and then hit the replace command. When I deselect, you will notice that I selected all this area, but only forests within the area selected have been turned into Hell. Just undo that again. Now the main things you probably use this for is, as I mentioned earlier, going to be older maps that once the newer versions of Minecraft were brought out, the biomes had all changed. So as you noticed earlier, we used to have a server with a city on it, and the entire place froze over. That obviously can be fixed with just sort of general changing biomes in the map and some other biome tools that you have. But I find it's quite efficient to do it in this as well, as I can just paint what I want where I want. Now I did also mention in regards to adventure maps as well. Now at the moment I'm working on an adventure map, and you're actually going to get a little glimpse of it in a moment, because I have been using this biome editing feature for that. It can allow you to do, say, like special effects as such. So I'll just zoom in on this region that we're playing with at the moment. Let's say here. Now, say I want to draw some sort of cross on the ground, maybe, like that. And I go, okay, I want that to be desert. So we'll just fill that with desert there and deselect it. Now, in the game, literally, these blocks are now desert. So you end up with a sort of glowing cross as such in the ground. And here we are on part of my current adventure map. As you can see, the grass around here is all fairly standard green. But then just here is a strange little glow around this chest. Basically, what this is there's a cross round about that size of a desert biome, and then Minecraft just blends the edges in, but it allows you to give a strange sort of glow effect around here. So the cross that I've just done, that would have a sort of similar effect as well. Now if we have a look at that area I just showed you back here in BiomePainter, Right in the middle there, that's the chest we were just looking at, and this area around it is a desert biome in a custom shape right in the middle of a forest. Now there is another couple of uses. In my map as well, I'm doing a custom swamp area. Widgets, switch over to here and down this one. So here I was able to produce a swamp the exact shape that I wanted and in the exact position that I wanted. So here's the jungle, here's a swamp. Swamp literally just tucks in where I want it to. And in game it looks a little like this. Now as you can see, all this area is swamp. Goes right up to the edge here, so this is all swamp water. These are swamp trees. But at no point does it really go past the edge. This swamp there. So you can do interesting effects like that. Another thing that is very useful for adventure maps is the fact that you can set areas to Mushroom Island biome. Now what's special about that biome is that nothing but mushrooms can spawn in it. So if you want an area that has absolutely no hostile mobs or squids or anything like that, then you can basically paint in those areas so that nothing happens in them, and then only have mobs in the specific areas that you want. Very, very useful feature. And now one final thing. I mentioned earlier in regards to the copy and paste biome buttons. Now, not many people are going to find a use for these, but it is something that I'm using quite a lot at the moment. So if we just turn off the map layer, it demonstrates a bit easier. If we look down here, we've got a swampland, river, bit of ocean, and surrounded by forest. Now, if I select the area, now you can select by brush, square, whichever you like basically. But let's say I just want this area here, just to have that. Now if I go copy and go paste, I now have that area I just painted and I can paste it anywhere I like. I can go to other regions and paste it down. So if you want to make duplicates, such as there's an adventure map called Gloria, has 2 areas that are the same, and they could have just copied and pasted biomes. But if I put it down like that, and you will see there we are. I have the exact copy of what was in here placed up there. Now obviously you can make it a bit neater, you can sort of edit out these and stuff. So as I showed earlier, maybe I just want to paint over here and take the ocean, turn that into forest, replace, and I want to replace that river with swamp. There we go. And now we have a perfect replica of this swamp and turn the river into swampland and the ocean. There we go. So hopefully this tutorial has taught you a lot about the program. As I says, a lot of it is quite easy to get used to once you figure it out. And it should help fix all those old maps, and also for adventure map makers. One final part I didn't sort of mention is these ones down here. I don't tend to touch them myself, but they will replace the biomes in your selection with the biomes that would have been generated in a previous version of Minecraft. So 1.73, 1.81 and so on. Obviously 1.73 I don't think had snow biomes for starters, that sort of thing. But that's it. So I hope that was useful for you, and go download it. Enjoy.